I have a rather large book collection. At least I like to think so. So I figured I would share my methods for how I personally like to buy Japanese books or Japanese manga to be specific. I do also collect in English, as you can see here. However, I feel like if you're in an English speaking country like I am here in Canada, English volumes are kind of the go to. Japanese volumes, not so much. At least in my city, they don't sell manga in Japanese, period. There's nowhere to buy them. You can get them English, you can get them French. Sometimes you can get them in Spanish. You can never find them in Japanese. So I have to shop only online. Just about everything you see behind me was shipped to my house. So I figured I would share my resources with you in case you're also trying to start buying your Japanese physical books online. Side note, I do also have a good amount, I would say, of resources for buying digital copies, but I'm not going to be talking about them today. Today's for physical volumes only. So typically, when I am trying to buy a new volume, I have three different sources, and really only three sources that I like to use. So, say I'm trying to buy the newest volume of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I know it's on hiatus, but just like pretend. My first stop will always be Surugaya. Surugaya is a used bookstore, online only if you're in Canada, but they do have a physical store, many physical stores in Japan. It's very similar to Book Off, but I've never used, I don't even know if there is a Book Off digital platform. I don't know. But Surugaya, it's used books in Japan and they ship worldwide. I know they ship to Canada, absolutely. They ship to America, England. I'm pretty sure they ship basically anywhere that you can buy things, they can send it to you. Surugaya is a great resource. It is a little bit more expensive if you're in a foreign country versus in Japan. They do charge like a foreigner fee, I like to call it, but it is still the cheapest option. So I eat the extra $1 to $2. I don't really care. Surugaya is a little bit difficult to navigate because they really love a good machine translation, unfortunately. They machine translate everything. And because if you're trying to buy things from abroad, you have to use the international website, meaning you have to navigate the machine translated website. You can't just use the original Japanese one, which is pretty unfortunate. But once you get used to it, you will understand the quirks of the system. Here are my recommendations for if you're trying to search something. My big recommendation, do not search by title because the machine will translate the title. Like Nina the Starry Bride is not Nina the Starry Bride on Surugaya. It is, her name turns into Neener. I don't know why. If you search Nina, nothing will come up usually. So you should, at least what I do, is I search through the author's name. You'll have to figure out how to write their name in Japanese because it's silly, I know. Searching in English usually will not come up with anything. Find out the author's name in Japanese and then go from there. It is a lot easier to do that than anything else, in my opinion. Sometimes you can search by series, like Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. You can search by this series in English, but it will not show you all of the listings for Hanako-kun. If you search through their author's name, it will show you all of the listings. So author's name is by far the best way to find everything in my eyes. Also, you can search through the Japanese title, not the English title. The Japanese title written with Japanese characters will also sometimes give you more results, but not always. The always surefire way to get the most results is by using the author's name. If you're thinking, I don't know how to write the author's name, I can't read it, I'm trying to buy these books so that I can study Japanese, that's okay. Google is your friend. So, for example, if you want to find out the author's name for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, I know their name is written only with hiragana, so it is easier, but just like pretend they have a complicated name. What you can do if you have absolutely no confidence in your Japanese ability, here's what you do. Go to Google, type in what is the Japanese title for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. Or you could even try what is the author's name for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, but I like to do what is the Japanese title for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. Google AI usually does come through. I hate AI, I know, but more often than not, you don't need to do any further digging than that. It will tell you the Japanese title in Japanese characters. Copy paste that. Go to Amazon Japan. And I'm only recommending Amazon Japan because, again, if you're not confident with Japanese, most people are familiar with the interface for Amazon, so it's just friendlier. Enter the Japanese title for the book. So, Bound Hanako-kun in Japanese, just paste it in there. It'll come up with a bunch of listings for all of the different volumes. Click on any of them. Once you click into it, it will give you the author's name. You can then just copy paste that into the search bar to Surugaya. I know it feels like a lot of steps, but if you're really trying to find something, I find that to be the best way. Find out the author's name and go from there. I really like Surugaya. They also do free shipping sales, and if you buy things from Japan a lot, you'll know it's the shipping that is by far the most expensive. They do free shipping sales like once a week, basically. It is by far the cheapest. You will have to pay tariffs. In Canada, at least, every time I do a purchase, I could buy one book, I could buy 50 books. They charge me in between 20 and 25 Canadian dollars in tariff fees every single time. Technically, my tariff fees are actually only like $2 to $3. And then I'm paying like $20 to $23 in handling fees through DHL, which is annoying. But because I'm not paying anything in shipping, it's okay. I just think of it as a $25 shipping fee, and then it's not that much money, and I move on with my life. So Surugaya is by far what I use the most. The majority of what I have has been bought through Surugaya. I like them a lot. The only big downside I find with them is you cannot cancel your order after you make it. So before you place an order, make sure there's no big strikes happening with your country's shipping companies. Because I've done that in the past and it was really stressful. They came through in the end, but it was really stressful. So that's my number one. I will always check out Surugaya first. But say it's not on Surugaya, like volume 4 of Watashi no Koi no Hajime Kata. Not on Surugaya, even though it's been out for a while. It's dumb. They also will not usually have the most new series as well, just because it's a used bookstore, okay, that needs to be given to them before they can give it to you. Also, disclaimer, I'm not affiliated with Surugaya in any way. I just think they're very helpful. Even though they do charge foreign people a bit more, I do still think it's a fair company. Like, I've never been bothered by them. So yeah, I'm not affiliated with them. I am affiliated with the next company I'm going to talk about, so just take everything I say with a grain of sand. The next company is JPFans, which is a proxy shipping company. So Surugaya is an online used bookstore. They ship straight from their warehouse to you. JPFans is a little bit different. I purely use them if I want to buy things through Mercari because we need a proxy shipping company to buy Japanese things from Mercari if you're in Canada, which is silly. I know you don't in other countries, but in Canada we do. So that's the only way I could buy stuff from them. Pretty much what it is if you want something from Mercari, you buy it through their platform, and then they buy it from Mercari for you, and then they ship it to you. I do find their shipping fees to be more than nothing, more than Surugaya's, because Surugaya doesn't have anything. But they are on par for basically anything else I've ever tried. So they're not like ridiculously expensive, but they're not like crazy cheap like Surugaya is. So just take that as you will. I find them to be good. You can buy roughly 20 things at a time with them. Surugaya, it's unlimited. But are you going to be buying a gazillion things? Maybe. But if you're trying to do a smaller order, JPFans could be good. They typically do have, because it's Mercari, they typically do have some of the newer series before Surugaya will have them. But Surugaya also has an account on Mercari, which is just really confusing. But I don't know. So if I'm trying to find something new and it's not on Surugaya, I'll check out JPFans because usually they'll have it for pretty cheap. And again, the shipping isn't that much money. So yeah. They also do have things, both of them have things like figures and goods and whatnot, but I don't really buy them. You can see all of my figures and stuff behind me. Most of them were gifted to me. I don't really go out of my way to buy them. I did the little Colette acrylic stands, but that's it. I love them. If I'm gonna buy stuff, I buy books. It's just who I am. My next and last one I used to be affiliated with, but I'm not anymore. I do my best to not shop through them if I can. And that's because it's Amazon. I know, Amazon Japan. I know. Yeah, I don't love recommending Amazon Japan, but if there's a new series that like I need right now and I need it before anybody can spoil it for me, I'll buy it through Amazon Japan. And like I trust that if I pre-order something through Amazon Japan, they'll ship it right to me. I'll read it quickly and crisis averted because nobody spoiled it for me. But that's only the series that I like really, really need to read as soon as they come out. And you pay for the for the privilege of reading it as soon as it comes out. Oh my goodness, do you pay? But if you really need something and you need it quickly, they will have it and they will send it to you. They are the ones who typically have the best stock because it's Amazon and the shipping is very quick. I will say you do pay for all of the tariffs and everything together at the time of shipping, so there's no surprise fees, which is nice, but again, it's very, very expensive, which really sucks. Surugaya and JPFans are pretty good with their packaging. Surugaya has changed a little bit. Just in the most recent purchase I did notice the packaging was a little bit not as good as it usually is, but still everything came perfect. I had no complaints. JPFans uses as small of a box as they possibly can. But again, everything came perfect. And I think smaller boxes are good because there's no space for things to move around. They're all like compact. Surugaya usually like saran wraps everything to each other. So there's no room to move. Just the last time I did a purchase with them, they didn't. And Amazon Japan just throws one book in a big box and bye. So, yeah. But yeah, those are the 3 that I use. So if I need it now, no matter what, I cannot wait for it to come in. I need it now. I'll do Amazon. If I'm okay to wait and I'm just kind of browsing and I want to stockpile quite a few books, usually I'll do Surugaya. And if I'm kind of in between where there's a few books that I want, but they're not on Surugaya, I'll check JP Fans. If there's a few books that I want and they're not in stock on both Surugaya and JP Fans, usually I won't buy them on Amazon Japan because that's expensive. And I know if I wait, eventually they will come into stock on one of the two other ones. Usually. There's really only a small handful of series that I've really, really been waiting for on Surugaya. So usually they do come through. You just have to wait quite a while. But yeah, those are my 3. If you have any recommendations for other online shopping platforms where you can buy manga physicals, not digitals, please let me know because I am always on the lookout, especially if the shipping is a good price. Oh.